Hello dear students. In the previous session we were discussing about the concept of transformation of the coordinates. So now let's solve theorem on this. Okay, before that let us recall the main important things. We have seen the transformation matrix in this concept. So the transformation matrix will be in the form of alpha ij, where I can denote that as alpha 11, alpha 12, alpha 13, alpha 21, alpha 22, alpha 23, alpha 31, alpha 32, alpha 33. This is nothing but transformation matrix, right? In transformation of the coordinates, we have seen first configuration as well as second configuration. That is, one is with respect to xi axis. Here the basis vectors were ei cap, that is nothing but e1 cap, e2 cap, e3 cap. And the second configuration was with respect to xi prime axis. Here the basis vectors were e1 prime cap, e2 prime cap and e3 prime cap, right? This was the things which we have discussed in the previous session. So using this axis and with respect to these base vectors, we can write first configuration as vector x is equal to xk. This is my equation number 1. Similarly, for xi prime, we can write vector x is equal to xp prime into ep prime. This is nothing but with respect to the axis. This is my base vectors, right? And for this, the direction cosine of the angle between xi and xi prime, we can write alpha ij is equal to cos of xi prime xj. These are the things which we have discussed in the previous session, right? So now the theorem which says transformation, we have to prove that transformation matrix is an orthogonal matrix. So this is the statement of the theorem. We have to prove that transformation matrix is an orthogonal matrix. This is my transformation matrix. In order to say this matrix is an orthogonal matrix, I have to prove that alpha ij into alpha ij transpose, I will denote the transpose as dash, is equal to alpha ij transpose into alpha ij is equal to identity matrix I. This is what we have to prove. That means in order to say that the transformation matrix is an orthogonal matrix, I have to prove that. We have seen in matrix also, right? If I want to say A is an orthogonal matrix, then A into A transform is equal to A transform into A is equal to identity matrix I. In the similar way, here we have to consider this as matrix A, since this is nothing but a transformation matrix. Okay. So in order to prove this, let us first consider our configuration. Okay, so we have vector x is equal to xk ek, that is with respect to xi axis. Similarly, for xi prime axis, we have xp prime into ep prime. This is my equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Now what I will do is, I will take dot product by ei prime. So if I consider the dot product, we will be getting vector x into ei prime will be equal to xk ek into ei prime. right? Now using equation 2, I can write this as xi prime ei prime into ei prime will be equal to xk ek ei prime, right? So this is nothing but xi prime is equal to xk ek ei prime, because ei prime dot ei prime is 1, so you will be getting xi prime is equal to xk ek ei prime. Okay, so this implies xi prime is equal to, we can write this as ei prime ek into xk. So what is this ei prime ek? I can write alpha ij, right? Ei prime ej, if it is, we have seen this in the previous session. So if alpha ij is equal to ei prime ej, then here ei prime ek is nothing but alpha ik xk. So I have xi prime is equal to alpha ik into xk. Call this as equation number 3. I will repeat this once again. This is from first configuration, this is from second configuration, that is with respect to xi and xi prime axis respectively. Okay, here what I have done is I have just taken a dot product ei prime on both sides of your equation number 1. Now this equation will become in this form using your equation number 2. Since ei prime dot ei prime is 1, we can write xi prime is equal to xk ek ei prime. Here I have just grouping the base vectors to one side and I have retained xk as it is. So ei prime ek is nothing but alpha ik. So we can write xi prime as alpha ik xk. Okay. So similarly from equation number 2, we can write x into ei is equal to xp prime ep prime dot ei. So what is x from your equation number 1? It is xi ei into ei is equal to xp prime ep prime dot ei, right? So again this is xi is equal to ep prime dot ei into xp prime. So this is alpha pi xp prime, that is xi, right? I will call this as equation number 4. Now substitute equation 4 in your equation number 3. That means you will be getting xi prime is equal to alpha ik xk. This is what you have in your equation number 3, right? So this implies xi prime is equal to alpha ik alpha pi xp prime. Sorry, this is not pi, this is pk. We are substituting for xk, right? xi is equal to alpha pi xp prime. So xk will be alpha pk xp prime. So this is alpha pk xp prime. So this implies I can write xi prime as delta ip xp prime. This is equal to alpha ik alpha pk xp prime. xp prime gets cancelled, so this will become delta ip is equal to alpha ik alpha pk. This is using the substitution property of your delta. Okay, using that we have seen ai is equal to delta ij aj. So similarly here I have xi prime, so we can write delta ip ap or xp prime. I have prime here, so I have written prime here also. Okay, so xi prime is equal to delta ip xp prime. So till here I guess there is no confusions. We have just considered these two equations and we just taken the dot product ei prime to equation 1 and we simplified that, and we have taken ei as a dot product with your equation 2 and we have simplified that. Using equation 3 and 4 we are getting this delta ip is equal to alpha ik into alpha pk. Okay, so now call this as your equation number 5. Now let's deal with the cases now. So for I is equal to 1, you will be, for I here you can observe k is a dummy suffix, ip or the free suffixes, right? So for I is equal to 1, I will consider p is equal to 1 in your equation number 5. So you will be getting delta 1 1 is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to 3 alpha 1k, right? So here I is also 1, p is also 1. We are taking summation on dummy suffixes, that is summation k is equal to 1 to 3 alpha 1k. So alpha 1k is nothing but alpha 1k square. This is summation k is equal to 1 to 3 alpha 1k square. So you will be getting 1 is equal to alpha 1 1 square plus alpha 1 2 square plus alpha 1 3 square. Why I am taking 1 here? Because the value of delta 1 1 is 1. We have seen this in the very beginning classes of our continuum mechanics. So similarly, take p is equal to 2. You will be getting delta 1 2, that is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to 3 alpha 1k alpha 2k. Expand this summation, you will be getting alpha 1 1 alpha 2 1 plus alpha 2 1 alpha 2 2 plus alpha 1 3 alpha 2 3. This is equal to 0 because I have different suffix values. The value of alpha 1 2 is 0. So similarly, when p is equal to 3, you will be getting delta 1 3 is equal to alpha 1 1 alpha 3 1 plus alpha 1 2 alpha 3 2 plus alpha 1 3 alpha 3 3. Delta 1 3 is also 0, right? So similarly, we have to consider I is equal to 2. Again 3 cases, that is p is equal to 1, p is equal to 2 and p is equal to 3. When p is equal to 1, you will be getting delta 2 1 is equal to alpha 2 1 alpha 1 1 plus alpha 2 2 alpha 1 2 plus alpha 2 3 alpha 1 3. This is 0, right? Similarly, when p is equal to 2, you will be getting delta 2 2 and here you will get summation k is equal to 1 to 3 alpha 2k square. So this will become 1 is equal to alpha 2 1 square plus alpha 2 2 square plus, sorry, this all are alphas. 1 is equal to alpha 2 1 square plus alpha 2 2 square plus alpha 2 3 square, right? Similarly, when p is equal to 3, 0 will be equal to alpha 2 1 alpha 3 1 plus alpha 2 2 alpha 3 2 plus alpha 2 3 alpha 3 3. Again you have to consider I is equal to 3. In that, if p is equal to 1, you will be getting alpha 3 1, this is 0, and this will be equal to alpha 3 1 alpha 1 1 plus alpha 3 2 alpha 1 2 plus alpha 3 3 alpha 1 3, right? So when p is equal to 2, you will be getting alpha 3 2 and the value of alpha 3 2 is 0. This will be equal to alpha 3 1 alpha 2 1 plus alpha 3 2 alpha 2 2 plus alpha 3 3 alpha 2 3. Again when p is equal to 0, you will be getting delta 3 3. The value of delta 3 3 is 1 and here you will get alpha 3k square. So after expanding this, you will be getting alpha 3 1 square plus alpha 3 2 square plus alpha 3 3 square. Now consider the condition for orthogonal matrix. Okay, the condition is alpha ij into alpha ij transpose. That means alpha 1 1, alpha 1 2, alpha 1 3, alpha 2 1, alpha 2 2, alpha 2 3, alpha 3 1, alpha 3 2, alpha 3 3 into alpha 1 1, alpha 2 1, alpha 3 1, alpha 1 2, alpha 2 2, alpha 3 2, alpha 1 3, alpha 2 3, alpha 1 3, 2 3 and 3 3. So if you multiply these two matrices, you will be getting alpha 1 1 square plus alpha 1 2 square plus alpha 1 3 square, alpha 1 1, alpha 2 1 plus alpha 1 2, alpha 2 2 plus alpha 1 3, alpha 2 3, and the third column will be alpha 1 1, alpha 3 1 plus alpha 1 2, alpha 3 2 plus alpha 1 3, alpha 3 3. Similarly, alpha 2 1, alpha 1 1 plus alpha 2 2, alpha 1 2 plus alpha 2 3, alpha 1 3. And the second column will be alpha 2 1 square plus alpha 2 2 square plus alpha 2 3 square, and I will write it here, alpha 2 1, alpha 3 1 plus alpha 2 2, alpha 3 2 plus alpha 2 3, alpha 3 3. Again the last one will be alpha 3 1, alpha 1 1 plus alpha 3 2, alpha 1 2 plus alpha 3 3, alpha 1 3. And the second column, third row, will be alpha 3 1, alpha 2 1 plus alpha 3 2, alpha 2 2 plus alpha 3 3, alpha 3 3. And the last one is alpha 3 1 square plus alpha 3 2 square plus alpha 3 3 square. This is what you will get after multiplying these two matrices. Okay, so now the value of this is 1, and you can observe in the previous steps the value of this is 0 and this is 0. Similarly, after substituting all the values, you will be getting 1 0 0, 0 1 0, 0 0 1. This is nothing but my identity matrix I, right? So now I have taken only one part. We have to do the reverse part of this also, right? So now if you try the reverse part, again if you get the identity matrix, then you can say that transformation of matrix is an orthogonal matrix. Okay, in order to take the reverse part, first what we will do is we will substitute equation 3 in equation 4, that is xi is equal to alpha pi, alpha pk, xk. Okay, so again for this, using substitution property, we can write xi as delta ik xk will be equal to alpha pi, alpha pk, xk. xk gets cancelled. You will be getting delta ik is equal to alpha pi, alpha pk. Now follow the same procedure. Here what you will do, first you will fix the value of I is equal to 1, and for different values of k, that is k is equal to 1 2 3, find the values. Similarly, when I is equal to 2, k is equal to 1 2 3, and I is equal to 3, k is equal to 1 2 3. Here p is the dummy suffix, so you can write this as summation p is equal to 1 to 3 alpha pi, alpha pk. Follow the same procedure and finally obtain the matrix. Okay, you will get alpha ij transpose into alpha ij is also equal to identity matrix. Try this and let's discuss some more topics in the next session. Okay, thank you.